Okay, so today I'm gonna be dealing with an issue with my 240SX with oil pressure. I've got oil pressure light coming on at first startup on a cold start. Stays on for, it varies, a couple seconds sometimes. Other times if I leave the car just sitting there idling, it'll go to like 30 seconds. Oil light stays on and then it goes off after a little bit. So the last time I started up, got out, popped the hood. You could hear rattling as if the timing chain needed to be changed, something like that. This timing chain's been changed. I've changed it already, so that's not the issue here. I did notice that once the light goes off, the noise goes away. So this is leading me to believe I really do have an oil pressure issue, because I have a new oil pressure switch already in the car that I put in as a maintenance thing. And also the oil level is right. I recently just did an oil change as well. No oil under the car, nothing like that. So it's not a low oil issue, unfortunately. Which, you know, you don't want that either, but that would be a lot better than the latter here with the oil pressure issue. So I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle and show you what exactly is happening. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and crank up the car. See there? Oil light is still on right now. Still on. And they usually go away if I rev it, but alright, so I'm going to take you under the car and you can hear the noise that it's making. And oil light is still on, so I'm going to rev it. Went away, and at the same time the noise under here went away as well. So yeah, that's not good. So obviously I'm not driving the vehicle. I'm going to do some diagnosing here and see what I find. Alright, so for this test I'm going to be using a basic oil pressure test kit. It's got a gauge here, a hose here, various fittings to fit your motor. And for this you pull out the what do you call it, the oil pressure switch. You unscrew that, screw these adapters here in, and then screw the hose into it there. Essentially just fire up the car, check the reading on there. There's various readings for your car. I'll have to look up exactly what it is on the 240. I believe with the KA, that light comes on at like 5 psi or so. Don't quote me on that, but that's, I believe, what it is, which is pretty damn low. So I'm hoping it's not it, but with the noise that's going on and the fact that the noise goes away once the oil light goes away, it kind of leads me to believe that I do have an oil pressure issue, so I may end up having to put an oil pump in it or something along those lines. I guess we'll see here what I get after my test. Alright, so looking at the car, I went ahead and unplugged the oil pressure switch. Still need to unscrew it, but you can see it right there. It's right next to the oil filter. This is the KA24DE. I can't recall where it is in the single cam, so you have to look it up, but the testing will be the same. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and unscrew that bad boy first. First thing I did is I found a socket that fit it, and the socket that I found that fit is 27. This could vary because of the, you know, you could have an aftermarket switch and there's a little fatter, a little smaller, whatever, but this is what fits mine, so this is what I'm going to use. You might have to take off the oil filter just in case you don't have room in there, or if you don't have a big enough socket, you'd have to use like some channel locks or like vice grips or something. But use a socket if possible. That's what I'm going to go with here. Another thing I should probably mention, it's a good idea to unhook your battery, because as you're going to be pulling it out, you're going to be really close to that positive terminal that's on the alternator, which goes straight to the battery, so that, well, I mean, it goes through a fuse and then to the battery, so you'd end up popping your alternator fuse, which is not good. So you want to go ahead and unplug that, which is what I'm going to be doing here. And right now I'm just going to go ahead and unscrew that, and then from there figure out which adapter I need, and then, you know, start the test. Alright, so I got my oil pressure switch out. I thought I had replaced this, but I must have been just thinking about my old 240, so yeah, that wasn't replaced yet. So I found the fitting here that's gonna fit the thread here. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead down in there, screw this guy in, get it in with the socket. Then I'm gonna go ahead and screw that bad boy on, and then tighten that up, fire up the car, and see how it goes. It's kind of dark to film down in there, so I can't really get the process, especially with my arm up in there, but it's not a whole lot to see, so yeah. Okay, so I got the hose hooked up here. Wasn't a whole lot to see, so I didn't film it. I actually didn't have to use any of the adapters that it came with there. I actually was able to screw the hose itself straight into there. It's kind of annoying because, you know, it doesn't have like a... You can't spin it easily, you have to turn the whole hose at the same time. Very annoying, so like, if you can get a better one, sure. I mean, this thing was only like 25 bucks. So the better ones, I'm sure, you know, don't have that same problem. Yeah, got it hooked up, got my battery back up. I'm going to go ahead and start the car here, see how it goes. And I'm not really expecting a whole lot. I'm expecting low oil pressure because of the noise while the light is on, and then that the noise goes away when the light goes away. But we'll start it up and see how it goes. Alright, got the gauge set up there. I'm going to go ahead and start the car. We'll see how this treats me. Literally reading no oil pressure right now. That's not good. Okay, so there's definitely an issue here. There's 0 oil pressure on startup. And now once I revved up the vehicle, it's up to 41-ish. So not really sure what's going on here, but there's definitely an issue. So it looks like it's going to be at minimum dropping the pan. I'll probably be ordering an oil pump as well. Alright, here's my oil pressure after running for about 3 minutes or so. It's about 19 psi roughly. I'm going to let it keep running a bit, see if it goes back down. I think this is around a little low still for a KA, so obviously there are some issues here going on. Alright, so after letting it run for about 10 minutes, I turned the car off. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit, start it back up, and see if I still get the, no reading on the gauge at all. So I'm going to let it cool down for 5 minutes or so. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start it back up and see what I get. Nothing's showing up, so. Yep, this is unfortunate. Alright, so here's a little backstory on this issue. Recently I did a oil pan replacement, and I tapped the oil pan for a return bung for a turbo. I also resealed the front timing cover, got the new seal that goes between the timing cover and the block, and I got a new one for the pickup as well. So those two seals are brand new, straight from Nissan. Bought them at a Nissan dealership. Prior to doing that job, I did have the oil light come on once or twice on startup like it is now, but I attributed it to low oil because the pan was leaking pretty bad, so I attributed it to that, but it was never that low, so I always thought it was strange. But the 2 times I checked it wasn't a big deal. After that, I did the oil pan and resealed the front timing cover, everything like that, and been driving the car around for like a month. Even did a couple of drift events. Never saw the light up until just a couple of days ago when I started it up. So now it's pretty consistent, and I'm kind of feeling like a fool for not having changed the pump or that part lower timing cover out when I had it out initially to reseal it. So yeah, I think what I'm going to be doing now is ordering a new timing cover / oil pump. I'm going to drop the pan, look and make sure there's nothing stuck in the oil pickup. I cleaned everything out under there pretty well, but I guess it's not out of the question that maybe there's, you know, a piece of RTV in there or something like that, but it'd have to be a huge glob to be causing the, you know, no oil pressure at the beginning. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and order my parts and dig into this here. So I guess there'll be a video probably coming on that if I feel like filming it.